Captain Dave. It's a guide's life. Hey, I had a trip this morning. We got out first light, and it was an artificial trip, and it was brutal. We've got a major front coming in, and I'll make every excuse in the book, but at the end of the day, the fish I took them to just weren't there, and it didn't happen. You know, and this is the kind of thing that it happens. You know, you don't catch them every time. You know, and that's kind of the way it is. It's really odd though, because, well, it's not odd, but you know, I hear about a week and a half ago, I had a trip, and I had a morning trip, and it was a father-son, and we really, I mean, we just got a few bites, and that was kind of what we had again this morning. And ironically, on that day back there, the evening fish, my guest caught 38. It was ridiculous, and it was just one guy. And so it was just fast and furious. So the fishing can be like that. It turns on, it turns off. If you're fortunate enough to be in an area where the fish are eating, you know, obviously you're going to catch them pretty good. Excuse me. But having said that, no matter what the weather's like, at some point in time, the fish are going to eat. And what I'm going to do right now is I've got my nephew Josh. Say hey, Josh.
Hi.
No, say hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
There he goes. I'm, you know, it is what it is. But Josh and I we're gonna actually go hunt a little bit of fish. I've got a couple hours here this evening, and I need to get on fish for these guys. They've come a long way to fish with me, and so I owe it to them to make sure that I get on some fish. So we're gonna go check the rim ditch. I'm gonna go to my drop shot spot in particular. These guys, actually last year when they were with me, they caught some really nice fish drop shotting, and the funny part is, it's Scott and Scott Decker, actually, father and son, and young Scott said that a bunch of his buddies just don't even believe that he was drop shotting at Okeechobee. So we're gonna go and see if I can make that dog hunt. I'm not sure if we're gonna hunt tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. It may have a lot to do with what happens right now. If I get into a good bite here this evening, I may push for an evening fish with the fellas. They've got enough flexibility in their schedule at this point to go afternoon or morning, and so we'll kind of see how that plays. We've had some really nasty weather today. We had a huge thunderstorm roll through. It's real windy now, and it's supposed to be the wind forecast is really high. We're going to have a lot of wind here over the next 2 or 3 days. There's a BFL going out of Clewiston here, out of Roland Martin Marina on Saturday. So anyhow. We're gonna go out and see if we can find them. I'll take you along with me. All right, we'll be back soon. Well, I wanted to come down and try out this area in the rim ditch that I like to fish. I got one little peanut. That's all. There are some fish here. There's a few fish breaking. There is some shad, but it's not happening here. So I'm gonna have to go with that's so stupid. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go to another plan. With the weather coming in, I think we're probably gonna need to flip. We'd like to get the sun over our head to do that, but we keep looking. Hey guys, Captain Dave. I'm out here. It's day 2 with Scotty and Scotty Decker. Hey, you guys are from, what's the name of the city?
Hillsdale.
Hillsdale, New York, right? It's New York, right? Yes, yeah. These are the boys. Hey, say hey, boys.
Hey, boys.
Nicely done, Scotty. Hey, Scott got it. Scott got it. Hey, boys, exactly right. Anyway, listen, we went out yesterday. We did some artificial fishing yesterday, and Lake Okeechobee absolutely kicked my keister. Hey, listen, it's a guide's life. You know I like to brag. You know how much I like to brag when we catch them, you know, but I got to take my lumps when we don't. And listen, I got 100 excuses, and I'll give you, I'm not even going to bother. The bottom line was, the weather's really the weather turned on us pretty good yesterday. We had a huge storm chase us off the lake, but at the end of the day, you got to fish. So I decided to cash it in Clewiston for a little bit. The water's getting low and dirty in the places I wanted to fish, so we made a drive. We came up to Harney Pond. Now here's the lake report. I'm gonna tell you straight up, Harney Pond, the water's clean right now, and the wind is, you can see from behind me here, the wind is blowing in through here pretty good. The pattern we're fishing is just we're fishing moving baits over the hydrilla. and there's spawning fish in here. We pulled on one spot here and we had 3 or 4 bites. We boated 2 fish thus far, and we're gonna keep at it. We're just throwing swimming worms. Guys are just kind of cranking them steady, and I'm just gonna keep lifting the poles and setting the poles down, and we're gonna keep moving through here and hopefully find a nice group of fish, some big fish. But that's the skinny, man. I wish I had something more sexy to report, but we're just working hard at it. The fellas are going to be with me again tomorrow morning, and I'm hoping we get this going in here well enough to where we can come back here and get them again tomorrow. But we're still working on getting them right now. We're going to fish till dark, and so we'll keep you posted. We'll keep you on top of it. This is Captain Dave out here in the windy Lake Okeechobee. When the wind blows, fellas, you got to find the clean water, and that's what we've done. I'm really happy about how clean the water is. So we're gonna see if we can catch them. We'll be back. Well, hey guys, listen, the bite's a little slow. We just switched over. We found some beds, and so we switched over to pitching a little bit of a jig. Jigs are very good on Okeechobee. In fact, the 7 biggest fish that I've taken have all been caught on the exact same jig, and it's been a jig as over creature baits and all those other kinds of things. And you can see I've got one here that's pretty tore up. I'm going to tell you, this is not a commercial for a company that sponsors me in any way. This is just me telling you about a product that I use because I really, really believe it flat out works. And that's the jigs are called a Jig X. And I'll show you the. I don't have the pet. These are the chunks that you use, but the entire thing is a system. And what I mean by that is, first of all, what's unusual is the line actually doesn't tie on the jig nose. The line actually goes through and it ties back here on the backside. And you got to use a special knot. It's almost like a fisherman's knot kind of thing, but that's where it ties through it. And it kind of gives it a different sort of an action. What's also really cool about it is that there's a little keeper that they sell, and it's on here right now. You can see that keeper right there, and that's actually, I'll rig one up for you here. That's actually the perfect little system for keeping the bait or the trailer right on your jig. And, you know, I've said many times, one of the most important things about any bait you're pitching and flipping is to make sure that it's something you can get in and out of the cover a lot, without tearing the bait up or having to fuss with it each time. It comes with some rattles. This one here has had one of the rattles knocked off it, but it comes with rattles on it. Very good. And what you do with the keeper is you put the keeper on, rather, and then this thing goes on very specifically. Make sure you get it straight. You always want to make sure your keepers are straight, or not your keepers, your trailers and stuff are nice and straight. But I'm gonna push it on right to here. Now all you're gonna do now is take this and flip it right over the top, and it grabs right a hold of the. I pulled it too far. Come on, Dave. And it pulls right across there, and you can see how that absolutely holds that chunk right in place. It's a cool system. It's called Jig X, and then you can get the chunk X, and then of course the little keeper system is. Let's see if I've got this is what the Jig X it looks like. I bought these online. I bought them right from the company, and that's the little keeper trailer that you want to use. I had Scotty Donahue in the boat here the other day, and I was really wanting to show him one, and I couldn't dig it out. I had too many rods in my locker. But I fish 2 colors. I like a little bit of purple in the brown, and then of course I use the black and blue, and that's pretty well what I fish for jigs in this lake. They come in all different sizes. All the way up to 1 ounce. I pitch a 1 ounce a lot. A lot of times, if I get an area where there's not a lot of there's not a lot of hydrilla and such, on the outside reed heads and in the bulrushes, that jig is absolutely fantastic. So that's my jig lesson. That's the jig that I like to use the most. It's called Jig X. If you get yourself some of those things, if you're fishing around wood, just about anything. I also pitch it in the holes in the grass. It comes out really nice. But anyway. There you are, Scott Donahue. A little shout out to you. Thanks for the question. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys in a bit. Well, hey guys, just coming back in here. We fished right till the sun's going down. The wind's beating our butts here a little bit. We caught 14. We had one about 4 pounds, honestly probably about 4.5. It was a nice fish, but I feel good about the bites. I did kind of figure something out, and it kind of dawned on me, and I feel a little silly now, but don't forget about drift socks if you're in a high wind situation. I'm gonna bring my drift socks tomorrow, but it occurred to me that I'm like, oh, we're just moving our baits too fast, and then I realized these guys are moving their baits about as slow as they possibly can and without running them over, because we're drifting at about 3 miles an hour, which is a pretty fast, maybe even 4 miles an hour. It was really windy. So drift socks tomorrow. I know that once I've kind of thought that through and kind of made the adjustment, we actually caught more fish. And frankly caught multiple fish in different zones, in different spots. Because I remember thinking, I said to Scotty at one point, I said, man, we just haven't we haven't doubled up on a fish. Like you catch one and then you catch another one, and you think, oh, there's a school of fish here. But we didn't make that happen at all. And until I set the poles down and we just fished. So, I'm supposed to be good at this, but I guess you live and you learn. Anyway, so tomorrow will be drift socks. Don't forget your drift socks, fellas. If you don't own a drift sock and you own a boat, you probably need to get one. You can get them for 30-40 bucks. You can spend more than that, but you probably don't really need to. So, all right, man, Captain Dave, sun's down. I'm gonna get this baby on a trailer. Got about a 35-minute ride home, and I'm gonna get this video up for you. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. They call the outlet right there.
They're inside. But they're once you get by. That's touchdown.
They're always running by trying to get the boat.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Big franker. Got him. He didn't get in.